Hey guys, my name is Lily and today I want to give you an update on my suburban garden. And actually yesterday it has hailed, so I want to check out my garden if there's some damage at my crops. And yeah, here at the left side we have some strawberries, but actually this year the harvest was really bad because in springtime it was far too cold, so we had 3 months of rain and cold, and the strawberries developed like 1 month later than usual. And then the cold wave was turning into a heat wave. Then it was suddenly getting too hot for the strawberries. So we effectively only had like 3 weeks of strawberries, and that was it for the year. And that really sucks. Now the blueberries haven't done a lot better, I gotta say. And all of this is blueberry shrubs, different kinds. And honestly, they also have suffered from the cold in the spring and then from the heat wave in the summer. But at least these 3 plants are doing really well. And you know if the blueberry shrub is doing well, if they are making new leaves. So here we see new leaves, which is great. This one is making new leaves as well. So unfortunately there was still not so much yield than in the years before, because the cold killed a lot of blossom, and without blossom you won't get any fruit, of course. And then also I have some kind of, I don't know, larvae that's eating the leaves of the blueberries, which is not good for these 2 here. This blueberry shrub did really well, so I harvested like 500 grams of blueberries from this only, or maybe 300 grams. And this one here almost died. You can see the brown leaves, and that's because in the heat wave I somehow forgot to water this shrub here, so it's my own fault. But it has survived and now it's making new leaves, which is great. Here the shrubs are doing okay. This one is doing very good because it's growing new leaves. This one did nothing this year. Here I have some brown tips of the leaves. I don't know why. This is an original blueberry shrub which grows in the forest, so it's not cultivated. It hasn't produced any blueberries this year, so I don't know. And there's one thing that I started to do now, which is I'm collecting needles in the forest, and then I bring them here and I just put them on the blueberry shrubs to make sure that the soil is kept sour. So as you guys might know, blueberries need a very sour soil, and if they don't have that, they will die. So you kind of want to mimic the soil in the forest, and sometimes I'm even getting soil from a very sour soil in the forest, which is usually found underneath pine and spruce trees, because the needles make the soil sour. Then I have one more row of strawberries, which haven't produced much this year, unfortunately. But at least my tomatoes are doing good, and the first ones are turning red already. And what I'm doing with my tomatoes is I'm pruning them. So I do some extreme pruning. I cut away all of the leaves at the bottom, and also I have made this frame here, and I want my tomatoes to grow all over the frame so that you can go through the structure like a tunnel and pick the tomatoes from above. So apparently my tomatoes have survived the hail from yesterday, which is a good thing. And yeah, they look really good. So I'm really happy with them. Now this year I'm growing 4 different types of tomatoes. This raised bed here is planted with Hellfrucht, and I had very good experiences with Hellfrucht, so it's my favorite tomato variety, and it's making a good yield, and it can take the rain, so you can plant it outside. So I'm really happy with this variety. Now if you move on to the next raised bed, we have 2 more Hellfrucht tomatoes here, and they are doing good, as you can see. Alright, so then here we have 2 tomatoes which are called Moneymaker, and I gotta say I like this one maybe even the best. Look at the nice tomatoes that the Moneymaker tomato makes. It's awesome. Alright, and then next we have this tomato here, which is called Toria. It makes bottle-shaped tomatoes. Looks nice. And then we have the Roma tomato, which I'm not very happy with, because first of all it stays really small, like a shrub, which I don't like. And second of all, it doesn't take the rain very well. So let's check out the tomatoes here. As you can see, this is very prone to blossom and rot. And the other ones don't have that. So the other ones are fine. It's only this tomato which is performing very poorly. So yeah, I think they cannot take the rain. But it wasn't raining much actually. So when we had the heat wave, we had like 6 weeks, almost no rain. But still they developed this blossom and rot, which really sucks. So I try to get rid of all of these tomatoes now, which have blossom and rot. And I hope that in the next week they will make normal tomatoes without any diseases. So here at the side I just have some small containers with herbs. This is parsley, marjoram, and back here there's only grass anymore. And oh yeah, these are my garlic cloves that I harvested. It's only a small part of them anymore, so I will soon replant them. And this is my other raised bed here. At the side you can see that I have 3 gorgeous kale plants. They are really big and nice. Back here I have a little bit of cabbage, some radishes, carrots, and here I had a batch of lettuces, which was really nice and delicious. Then at the back side I have some raspberries, golden ones, red ones, and I don't know what's wrong with this one, but this one is really suffering. So this one was a red one too. It's dying. I don't know. I've never seen a raspberry dying. Maybe it was the heat wave. Who knows? Yeah, and then here we have something very special. This is earth almond. Yeah, it's a nut that grows in the soil, but it's not a nut. It's a tube actually. So botanically it's not a nut. And it's very delicious, very nutritious. It's also called tiger nut. And I cannot wait to harvest these ones. They are great. Then this is a little bit of a miscellaneous raised bed. So here we have kohlrabi. This one has to be harvested soon. Then we have chamomile. This here is chamomile. And some parsley. Then here we have more kohlrabi. And this is lovage. It's huge. And right now I'm just letting it bolt so that it can grow some seeds. And then in here, this is my greenhouse, which I'm very proud of. So at the left side we have some peppers, and they have grown really high. So I've never had such high pepper plants, and they really love it inside of the greenhouse. So from now on I only want to grow peppers inside of the greenhouse anymore, because outside they were not doing so great. Oh my god, look at that. The snails are eating the pepper plants. I can't believe it. Oh my god, look at the snail. Slug. It's eating my pepper. Oh my god. Damn it. Damn you. In general, the peppers are doing really great in here. So you can see I have a lot of fruit growing right now. I have different kinds of varieties. This one is going to be a bell pepper. This one is going to be a more long type of pepper. So yeah, nice. I really am happy with the growth this year. And then here I have 4 more tomatoes, and it's the 4 varieties that I'm growing outside as well. So this is Hellfrucht, which is nice. Moneymaker, which is maybe even nicer. This is Toria with the bottle-shaped tomatoes. And this is Roma, which I'm not happy with. Okay, So I'm really surprised that this didn't make any fruits except for 2 or 3 inside of the greenhouse. So I really expected more. So I definitely don't want to grow Roma again because I think it really sucks. Yeah, and inside of here I'm doing some heavy pruning as well. And especially when a leaf makes something like this, a new stem, this is the first thing that I would prune, okay? So I will prune this one away once I got my shears. Alright, and then I have some radishes in here, some leek, and that's pretty much it. So I'm keeping some empty raised beds because this is already prepared for winter time. So pretty soon I'm going to plant lettuces and radishes for winter time. Alright, so this is my garden right now. I also have a couple of sunflowers, which is nice. And I cannot wait until the tomatoes get ripe. And then I finally can make my favorite tomato sauce. So yeah, pretty nice. And I'm really happy with the tomatoes. I think next year I'm going to plant even more. Definitely. And always make sure that you break out the suckers like this. You don't want to have multiple stems. Otherwise you will only grow leaves and not tomatoes. So this one here is a sucker. And this one here. They usually develop in armpits between the main stem and the leaves. And every now and then I cut off the leaves as well, so that I have a bare stem, and then the fruits will get ripe more easily because then the sunlight is, you know, shining directly onto them. But of course you should not remove too much of foliage. This is something that I would remove here. So sometimes there's this fruit stand and then at the end there's a leaf developing and this will become a new stem, so I just remove that. I don't want to have more than one stem. Sometimes I'm growing 2 stems, but in my experience 1 stem is just enough. Okay, I discovered 1 tomato which got damaged by the hail from yesterday. Why has it gotten damaged? Because there were no leaves protecting the tomato anymore. So here you can see we have some leaves. Underneath the leaves the tomatoes are protected, and this is why you still want to have leaves on top. But this one was exposed, so it got damaged. And as soon as you see a damaged tomato, make sure that you remove it instantly, because otherwise it will infect the other tomatoes as well. There was also a lot of wind yesterday, and here you can see that the tomato rubbed against the wood here, which is not good. And it also happens to any structure that you bind your tomatoes onto. So even here you can see marks, and that's just how it is. But normally the tomatoes can deal with it. Okay, so that's it for the update. I really want to thank you for watching and stay tuned till next time.